New biodiversity research project. It's called BioSCape in partnership with NASA, being launched down in the Western Cape. It's going to combine data collected from satellites and aircraft with field observations. It's there to try and understand the biodiversity of the Cape floristic region. It's going to include all kinds of data points. Let's try and get a sense of how this all works and why it's so important. The project's lead scientist, Jasper Slingsby, with us this morning. Jasper, good to have you on eNCA. Just very briefly, if you could, just tell me, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? I see one of the aircrafts behind you. I'm not sure if that's the actual aircraft, though.
Hi, Gareth. Yes, that is one of the actual aircraft. There are two planes involved, and one of them is heading off into the skies today. It'll be our first science flight of the project, so we're all very, very excited. So, I mean, essentially in recognition of the biodiversity crisis that we find ourselves in, lots of governments are starting to invest in biodiversity monitoring to better understand and track change in biodiversity and what that means for society and nature's contributions to people. NASA have recognized this, and they're busy developing instruments to put on a new satellite to help with biodiversity monitoring, among other things. And locally, the National Research Foundation and the South African Environmental Observation Network have also invested a lot in this. And together, they've been the two main parties involved in developing this project. So we're heading out with two NASA planes, four kind of cutting-edge in development instruments, to see what we can do in terms of mapping biodiversity with these instruments, both to see, can we benchmark what we already know with these instruments, just to know that the instruments are doing what we want them to, but then also to see what other new and interesting questions we can address with them.
When it comes to the issue, again, I imagine, of nature versus humans, are you trying to get a better understanding of the human intrusion on our nature and on our biomes, or are you looking at how nature is affecting humans? Which way do you think this is going to go?
Yeah, I mean, like all of the above applies. I suppose this project is more focused on the nature influence on humans, although the kind of global change impact on biodiversity is definitely part of the project. So yeah, we're looking at both, I would say. I think in the time frame of the project, it's a short window. We're doing a 6-week set of flights, so it's kind of a once-off at this stage, and it'll be more about kind of proof of concept about what we can do once there's a satellite out there. I think once we have a satellite out there giving us this kind of data, we'll really be able to get very good insights into the kind of temporal pattern of change, both seasonally and interannually, like over multiple years, how humans are affecting biodiversity and how biodiversity is responding, but also how biodiversity is influencing our lives. I think we saw that in a big way with the big drought down here in the Cape. We had a big weather anomaly, but that was compounded by all of our catchments being full of pine trees and other thirsty invasive trees. And that had a big impact on water delivery to our dams and society. So those kinds of contributions are important to consider, and those kinds of changes in how our bad management of our catchments has resulted in this impact on ourselves. So this is more about trying to get the data we need to make informed decisions and plan into the future.
And just in the final moments I have with you, talk to me collaborations and timelines as I say goodbye to you.
Sure. Over 150 scientists, half and half South African, US, with a sprinkling of others from all over the world, more than 30 institutions. The main funder is NASA. Obviously, they bring the planes and the instruments, and they've funded the US teams. They can't fund South African teams, so fortunately, the National Research Foundation came to the party, so we're making the best of what we can with what we have. And fortunately, people have been generous, and so we're very excited about this. But all the data will be open and freely available for people to use. So I think it'll be very valuable into the future. If anyone's interested in finding out more about the project, we have a website, which is just bioscape.io, and you're welcome to go and have a look and find out more, and ping us if you're interested.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to send people there as well. bioscope.io is where you can go to. Jasper, all the best to you and your team. Good luck and have fun with the aircraft as well. What exciting science down in the Western Cape. BioSCape project lead Jasper Slingsby joining us this morning.